I used to be chronically insecure to the point that seeing my own reflection made me feel this intense shame and disgust because not only was I super skinny, but I just didn't like who I was. I didn't like so many things about myself. And looking back on it, I realized something. It wasn't that I was worthless. It wasn't that I was. It was I felt like I was. There's going to be a lot of times in your life when you're going to feel an emotion. Obviously, you're going to feel like, man, I should just quit. I should just give up. It's too much. It's too hard. But that doesn't mean you should. That doesn't mean you are what you feel. You feel how you feel in this given moment. In 5 minutes from now, you're going to feel completely different. And that's how it was for my life. There was many times when I felt worthless. I felt like I just couldn't be anything. I felt as if I didn't have value or purpose in this world. I felt like nobody cared. I felt bad. Now, my name's Lawrence, for those who don't know. I'm a 19-year-old youth empowerment speaker, and I feel fantastic. And I help other people, teens, young adults in particular, build that self love, confidence, and a positive outlook on life, which I also built from the ground up. Okay, I am my first testimony. I am the results that I help others to achieve. And as not only in my own personal life, but in this career, I've realized something. Not just that you aren't what you feel, but if you want to feel better, if you want to feel worthy, you want to feel lovable, you want to feel these things, one of the first steps is, as painful as it sounds, figure out where along the line of your life, where along the path, were you taught, shown that you weren't valuable, that you weren't worthy, that you weren't lovable. In my experience, it came in the form of, my dad beating on me and my siblings. And that was quite some painful experiences in my life. And as I'm sitting here, not only just thinking about the past, but thinking about how far I've come, thinking about how I used to feel about myself, how I felt about the world, how I felt about others, one thing that comes to mind is this feeling that you can't trust anybody. This feeling that no one cares. This feeling that it will never get better. But that's just a feeling. That's just how you feel. And however you feel, you will start to find evidence for it. You find somebody who feels really mad. Like, in this moment, I am so mad. This person got on my nerves. That person did this. The job market, the price of eggs, the economy, this, that, school, grades, my job, this test score, my family, my friends, my girlfriend, this, that. It's so easy for somebody who feels really angry to find more things to keep them angry. And you find other people who are like really positive, like, man, the sun is shining. I woke up today. I'm glad to be alive. I got food in my refrigerator. I got water. I have this. I have that. I'm proud of myself. I got a good grade on my test. It's easy for them to find more things to be happy about. Now, the thing though is, once you define yourself as how you feel, you will keep yourself stuck there. Not 24/7, but whatever you say I am, that'll be the predominant thing. Like, the majority of the time, somebody who identifies as a happy person will find more things to be happy about. Majority of the time, they will be up here, like they'll be in a good mood. Whereas somebody who says, I am a negative person, I am worthless, I am bad, I am no good, will mostly find themselves here. Now, both of them can like move around. They'll have happy times, they'll have sad times, they'll have good moments, they'll have bad moments. But majority of the time, whatever you say, I am, I am not, you will mostly find yourself in those areas. So when I would often say that I'm worthless, I'm not good enough, I'm ugly, I'm this, I'm too skinny, I'm too short, most of the time, my thoughts and my emotions and my feelings would be down here. But slowly but surely, as I learned to redefine who I see myself as, not what the world sees me as, not what other people see me as, but as I learned to redefine what I see myself as, I started moving up here. I started making progress. I started feeling better. I started seeing that people are trustworthy. Not everybody, of course. You shouldn't tell every single person all your business, but not everybody is a snake that's out to get you and do all these bad things to you. Not everyone is like that. Yes, some people are, but not everyone. And yes, there are issues in the world. Yes, there are problems in your life. Yes, you will face challenges, but not every single moment of every single day is terrible. You can find the good in any situation. You can find bad in any situation if you look hard enough. And when we are being taught and shown that we're worthless, that we're not good enough, that we are unlovable, especially when it comes from a parent, you will find yourself finding evidence to confirm what they taught you. Most of your insecurities are things that were taught to you by people who were insecure of themselves. Most of the things that you don't like about yourself were taught to you by someone who didn't like themselves. Man, that hot chocolate is so good. Back to the point. And when you notice yourself feeling a certain way, like you have these feelings of sadness, these feelings of being worthless, these feelings of sorrow, like these intense, painful feelings. Of course, make sure that if you're having these feelings or thoughts of hurting yourself or hurting others, I'll put the hotline for that in the top link of the description. Make sure you get the help you need. There's nothing wrong with getting help. There's nothing wrong with saying, I need support. I need somebody. And we all do. We all need somebody to talk to about our life. It might be mom, dad, brother, cousin, niece, nephew, sis, sister, friends, relationships, counselor, therapist, teacher, sports coach, pastor, reverend, rabbi, whatever. Everybody needs somebody. But the person that you need the most is you. As cheesy as it sounds, it's the truth. You are with you all the time. And I say it a bunch, but you're the only one who goes in your casket. When you're born, it's just you. When you die, it is you. Maybe you'll have friends and family surrounding you, and they're like, oh my God, she was such a great person. She was such a great person. Maybe that'll be the case, but you won't know. You're dead. And even in the womb, you're there by yourself. But on those times when you feel like you're worthless, on those times when it feels like it's just not worth living, if it gets that severe, definitely call somebody. I put the hotline for that in the description. But when it feels like you have nobody and it feels like you have nothing and you feel like you don't even have yourself, you got God, you know, God's always there for you. I don't remember where it is, but there's a verse that says, I knew you before you were in your mother's womb. I numbered the hairs on your head. And sometimes when you start feeling worthless, it can get to the point where you start feeling like God don't even care, you know. But God really does. And I believe that it's in those painful moments that you will learn such a profound and deep connection to God, because when it feels like you don't have nothing, when it feels like nobody cares, when it feels like nobody's around, God's always around. And I want to emphasize this point again before we close out on the video. It's how you feel. How you feel does not necessarily mean that is the truth. You may feel like nobody cared. I felt like that a lot throughout my life. I felt like nobody cared. I felt like nobody was there, but people were. I had friends, I had family, girlfriends, therapists, parent, my mom, aunts, uncles, cousins, siblings. I had a lot of people who cared. But when we get so wrapped up in how we feel, we start to become blind to the truth. And we start to filter the truth through how we feel. So this is everything. This is reality. This is the full picture. The people who care, the people who don't. The good, the bad, the ugly, the in between, everything. But if I feel like I feel today's gonna be a great day, life is good, everything's great, the good stuff gets through. The good stuff gets through. Like the good stuff is in, but all the bad stuff, like, I don't like your hair. You're ugly. You're short. This, that, nya, 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 nya. Don't get through. Can't get through. I don't align with that. But you're going to have moments when you're going to feel up here. You're going to feel down here. You're going to feel in the middle. You're going to feel on top of the world. You're going to feel at the bottom. It's not about 24/7 controlling how exactly you feel. It's about identifying with the feelings, thoughts, and actions that are getting you to where you want to be. Great example. I feel like I'm going to achieve something great. I feel like I'm going to be a millionaire. I feel this. I feel that. These feelings begin to stack. Good thought, good thought, good thought, good thought, more, you build up. I feel like nothing's gonna go right for me. You're down. I feel worthless. You're down. I feel bad. I feel upset. I feel like nobody cares. I feel this, I feel that, I feel this. And then you're at the bottom. Now, if you're somebody who's at the bottom, like how I used to be, you feeling like nothing's worth it, you have to find small things that are worth it. Small wins, small good things in your life. Make your bed. As simple as it sounds, that's what I started doing. Make your bed in the morning. At least I can make a bed. I don't feel good about anything, but at least I know how to make a bed. Brush your teeth. At least I know how to make my bed and brush my teeth. Sometimes you have to start that small. Like, it's these small wins that build up into the bigger things. It's being able to take care of your physical well being, being able to keep your room clean, being able to take out the trash, do the dishes, do the smallest things possible to get a win on the board. I'm going to draw this out for you. So imagine this piece of paper is a board, right? You have a board, and every day on your board, you have your wins on one side. So let's put win. Well, actually, that wouldn't even be as accurate of a term as I want to use. Let's just say up. So we're going to have like an up arrow and a down arrow. So you have your up arrow right here and your down arrow right here. The goal is we want to have more up than we have down. We want to think of stuff like make bed. Let's put that on there. Make bed, take a shower, clean room, do homework. Like, I'm thinking of really small things you can do to get a win on the board, right? Now, down stuff is bad habits. Let's put that on there. Bad habit. Junk food. And I'm not saying you got to be like a health fanatic. I'm just saying that 5 cups of soda every day, not a good idea. Let's cut that down. Let's put some water in there. Messy room. A messy environment physically creates a messy environment mentally, and a messy environment mentally worsens your physical environment. So we want to clean your room. Bad friends. So you know the people who aren't good for you to be around. Stop hanging around them, right? So you see how the good side has an equal amount to the bad side. This is flat. Like nothing's happening because it's equally balanced. Now, let's say you do this. We add something more to the good side. You go to the gym. Let's use that. So now the good side right here has more than the bad side. That means instead of it being flat and even, it's more like this. Like there's a little bit of upwards momentum. Now, let's say we add even more to the upside. Like we're getting wins on the board. You go to the park. Go to park. Get some fresh air and sunlight. You journal. Talk to family. Learn a skill. Like doing a hobby, doing something that you enjoy. It might be going for a walk. It might be playing with your pet dog. Whatever makes you happy. Now you see how on the upside, on the good side, we have a lot more than on the bad side. Now, instead of it being flat like when it was even, instead of it being like this when it was only a little bit of good compared to the bad, now it's more like this, where you're like a rocket taking off. And the more good we can add, the less the bad will have an impact. Because you will have days and moments when you feel down. You will have times when you're stressed out. You will have moments when it feels like nothing's going right. You will have days when it feels hard to keep pushing. You will have people who say things about you that you don't like. You will have job loss and you're going to have less money and things will happen in life. It's just guaranteed. There will be ups, there will be downs. There will be days when it is sunny and warm, there will be days when it is cloudy and storms. The goal, however, isn't to always stay positive. The goal is to keep winning in the smallest way possible. That way, when the bad moments, the bad thoughts, the bad emotions come, you're equipped to handle them. Take this as an example. Sometimes I feel like when I'm making a video, am I just rambling? Am I just going off? Like, I just talking so hypercritical of myself. And then all of those wins, all of those little things I've stacked, such as posting my TikToks, posting my YouTube videos, being consistent, working on my crafts, upgrading my lighting, upgrading my camera, upgrading this, upgrading that. I have stacked so many little things. I've stacked so many wins that the moments when I feel doubt, the moments when I feel afraid, the moments when I start second guessing, it doesn't have as much of an impact because I have built up so much evidence that proves I am as good at what I do as I think I am. And when we allow our feelings to go down and we allow ourselves to be defined and controlled by a downward feeling, now instead of us looking at the feeling, saying, this is how I feel, but this isn't what I am, the moment you say, I am this feeling, I am worthless. You're spiraling down with it. I am uplifting. I am encouraging people. I am somebody people are proud of. I am proud of myself. I am dedicated. I am hardworking. I am motivated. I am resilient. I am this. I am that. You go up with it. Now, see, here's the problem though. If you define yourself by how you feel, you will be like this because right now you feel a certain way. Right now you feel something. In 2 minutes, you're going to feel something completely different. Now, if you are controlled by how you feel, you're like this. You're bouncing around with the feeling rather than observing, I feel this. Just because I feel sad does not mean I have to allow myself to keep spiraling down. Yeah, I feel sad, but I want to not feel sad. Let me do something that makes me feel happier. I can go outside for a walk. I can play with my dog. I can call a friend. I can go to the gym. I can paint. I can read a book. I can journal. I can do this. I can do that to achieve the desired feeling. Now, again, if you also allow yourself to be defined and controlled by how you feel, you're going to do a lot of things that you shouldn't because in the moment, I felt like doing it. In the moment, you feel like punching this person. In the moment, you feel like doing something you got no business doing. In the moment, you feel like sparking up something. I have to word it a certain way so that, TikTok and Instagram don't give me a violation. But y'all know what I mean. In the moment, you feel like doing something. But if you allow yourself to be controlled by and defined by how you feel, you're going to keep spiraling up, spiraling down, spiraling up, spiraling down, spiraling up, spiraling down. The goal is we want to be aware of how we feel, validate how we feel, understand why we feel that, but not be controlled by the feeling. And one of the best ways to do this, journaling, self awareness, meditation, spend a couple minutes in silence. Just notice, what do I feel? Just get a piece of pen, well, a piece of paper and a pen, and write out, what do I feel? And then write it down. And then 5 minutes later, what do I feel? Then write it down. And then 5 minutes after that, what do I feel? And then write it down. And you will start to notice I feel a lot of things in a short span of time. Monday, right? Let's just use this as an example. Monday morning at 9 a.m., you feel excited. You feel rejuvenated for the day. You feel like, man, today's gonna be a great day. 9:15, you're like, oh, my boss is complaining. Traffic. Monday, 5 p.m., you're like, man, I'm so glad to be home. I got my food. I'm watching Netflix. I'm talking to my wife and kids. Now, if you allow yourself to be controlled by how you feel, here's how your morning is going to look. All that. That's what happens when you're controlled by how you feel. But if you simply are aware of how you feel, here's how things look. You're like, you're fluctuating. You're fluctuating, but there's unless something terrible happens, you don't really have as many of these. They'll still happen throughout your life. Like you're still gonna have these major dips when things happen, like a death, a crash, stuff like that. When something serious happens, you're going to have dips. When something really good happens, you're going to have these like huge peaks. Like you just made $1 million. You won the lottery. You retired your mom. You paid off the mortgage. Stuff like that is going to cause these like really big spikes where you feel on top of the world like, man, I could do anything. I'm amazing. I'm that guy. That's going to happen throughout your life. But you're also going to have those moments when something tragic happens. And you're like all the way down here like, man, I don't know if I can keep doing this. Man, it's getting hard. It's tough. This, that. My car broke down. I got into a crash. I'm amputated. My legs are gone. That you're gonna have those moments too. Hopefully nothing like that. But you're gonna have moments when you're like down here. The goal is simply to stay within a consistent range instead of spiking up here and then spiking down here and then spiking back up here and spiking back down here. You want to keep it like within this range. And this is what you are. This is what you identify with. This is the character traits, the identity, the self worth, your ways of seeing the world. This is your healthy range. And as long as you stay within here, you have a pretty predictable mood. Like, yeah, you're going to get upset, you're going to get mad, you're going to get happy, you're going to get sad, but nothing extreme. As long as you stay within a range, it's not extreme. It's nothing too hard to handle. And you'll be like, yeah, I'm feeling sad today, but I know what to do. I'm feeling happy. I know what to do because you are within a healthy range. And with that said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you happen to be a school principal, podcast host, or you run a youth organization, so anything related to the betterment of teens and young adults, you can contact me at my email address below, Lawrence@Lawrencecharris.com. And I hope to see each and every one of you in the next video. Also, on September 6th, I'm doing a live event where I'm going to be talking about breaking limiting beliefs. So those thoughts that you can't, those thoughts that you're not good enough, those doubts and fears and worries. September 6th, I'm going to be talking about that. You can sign up below with the the Eventbrite link. Yeah, I've been talking so much today that my mind is like off. But with that said, make sure you hit those links. You can also buy my book, Power to the People, on Amazon. I am in the process of writing another one, and when that is out, you guys will be the first to know. Have a good one.